Now, the second reason for how we know the universe had a beginning was discovered in the 1800s, and it's called the Second Law of Thermodynamics. It's a $1.98 word. It can be understood very simply as the idea that the universe is running out of useful energy. It's using up its useful energy. Think of a tank of gas that was filled with gasoline and then it was sealed off so that no more fuel could get in it. And suppose you knew that the car that contained that sealed off full tank of gas had been idling, running, ever since it had been full, and you came across the car and you found it was still running very, very slowly. What could you conclude about the car? You could conclude that it had to have been filled up and turned on, what, a day ago, 2 days ago? You could sure know that it hadn't been filled and turned on a year or 50 years ago, because what would have already happened? It would have already run out of gas, would it not? You can certainly tell the car hadn't been filled up infinitely long ago, because if that had happened, it would have run out of fuel infinitely long ago. Now, the universe is like that car. In fact, Time magazine a few years ago had a featured article claiming, correctly, if Christ doesn't come back, and he is, but correctly from an atheist perspective, that a day is coming when the universe is going to run out of heat, because all the nuclear reactions and the stars that generate heat are going to run out of fuel. The lights are going to get shut off. It's going to be completely dark. So the universe is going to be cold, dark, and motionless. And the reason it hasn't done that yet is because it is still using up its fuel or useful energy. Now, let me ask you a question. If the universe is using up its useful energy so that it will eventually reach a time when there's no motion, there's no heat or light, and if it hasn't reached that time yet, what do we know follows from that? It hasn't been using up its fuel forever. Because if the universe had been here forever and it had been using up its fuel forever, what would have already happened? It would have already reached a point where it was dark, cold, and motionless. Since that hasn't happened yet, the past has to be finite. It was wound up somehow, and from that point on, the gas tank was sealed off and it's been running out of fuel, and it hasn't used up the gas tank yet. The universe had a beginning. And in the 20th century, one of the greatest discoveries of cosmology, which is very, very friendly to Christianity, though some believers don't think so, but they're wrong about this, and that's the Big Bang Theory, which indicates that the universe began to exist, all space, time, and matter came into existence, just as you would predict if these other arguments are sound, that we would discover evidence of a beginning.